Happy Friday, everybody. If you still believe in that kind of thing, especially if you're a Razorback fan, welcome into the Pod at the Palace. It's Curtis Wilkerson, joined as always by my man Scottie Bordelon with Natty State Sports here from the headquarters in downtown Fayetteville. Things have gone from bad to worse for Arkansas basketball. I think that's probably fair to say.
Very fair.
Feels like the Hogs have hit rock bottom of the Eric Musselman era at the very least. Hopefully this is rock bottom. I mean, 10-9 overall, 1-5 in SEC play. Average margin of defeat, 20.6 points per game. They just got their doors blown off by Ole Miss in basketball. It gets worse. 127 in the net. That's their net ranking. 105 at KenPom. They're eliminated from the Nat Large bid for the NCAA tournament. No consideration there at this point. Tremont Mark misses the game with migraines. TB's got a sore knee. Devo gets benched. Caleb Battle rolls his ankle. Mekhi Mitchell gets slapped in the face. Layden Blocker falls down. So injury has been added to insult. Harsh or not, it's kind of becoming, hard to deny that Muss has lost this team, man. They are not competitive at the moment. By the way, Scotty, the most explosive offense in the country is coming to town on Friday. College game day is going to be here in Fayetteville. We could talk to those guys tomorrow, and the Hogs are going to be on the biggest stage of college basketball. So all is well, right?
I think that's it. You covered it all in a minute and a half.
Yeah. So we're done, right?
We asked the folks on John's show, how long do y'all want the Pod at the Palace to be on Friday, and didn't get a response. So I think I'm just gonna end it at 2 minutes. What do you think? 8 seconds?
Yeah, that was good.
This out in 8 seconds.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was good. No, in all honesty, I don't know about you, but I really don't feel like wasting much time breaking down this Ole Miss game because we wasted too much time watching it.
It feels like we've talked about it all already, just in not losing on the road by a million at Ole Miss fashion. Yeah, 100%. I don't have anything else to say about that game at all. It was a complete mess. Listed the guys who either didn't play or got hurt or whatever throughout, but they weren't competitive in this one. The team looked like they let go of the rope. They trailed for 39 minutes. They never led. It was ugly. It's not a good look for the program there. So I don't know, Scotty. I mean, I think at this point we probably both agree, especially based on our content that's been going out. This season it's done, man. They'll play the games. They'll probably win a few. They will play the games. Yeah,
they'll win a few that we didn't expect, but it's kind of feeling like a lost season at this point to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're. I know you had the idea, and I agreed with it wholeheartedly. Look into the transfer portal a little bit. See if you can find any gems that may have caught your eye. Maybe even hidden gems that caught your eye. Opponents on Arkansas's non-con schedules. There were some dudes that I would imagine Eric and his staff or Arkansas will be looking at.
Yeah, no, 100%.
At the very least, they'll be looking at.
Yeah, they'll definitely be looking at them. Hopefully, they've been
feelers to everybody.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say hopefully they've been back channeling and getting a hold of some of these guys, like putting the bug in the ear there. Remember what you did to us? Come do that for us.
Right.
Maybe would be the right way to go about it. But yeah, I thought maybe we could play a little game of, like the old school VCR. Like we could rewind. And then we could fast forward because the present sucks, and I'm tired of living in it. So maybe for the Pod at the Palace here, we could escape reality and get back to the glory days, or maybe look ahead at what the better times are going to look like.
We could just tell stories from either our trip to the Bahamas together, or Buffalo, or San Francisco, or Des Moines, or Vegas. We can just let us know if y'all want us to do that. We might do that on Monday.
Yeah, because that's I think after they catch a case of John Calipari on Saturday, that's probably where we're going to be.
Yeah,
we'll just lead off and tell you.
Rob Dillingham might catch a charge on Saturday.
Yeah, I might hop on here Monday and tell you guys all about Scotty's antics at Circa, at the sports book in Vegas. Talk to you guys about this nacho place we ate at. We got some good stories from.
When I went to Vegas earlier this month, when I did not have a job.
Welcome back to employment, by the way.
Stayed right down the street from that nacho place. Would recommend it.
Yeah, Nacho Daddy.
That's
if you're ever
for
down
Monday,
there.
I guess, though.
Yeah, that's for Monday. We're getting ahead of ourselves here for sure. Well, let's rewind first, and then we'll fast forward. Looking back, Scottie, just in hindsight now, what do you recall as like the first real red flag that we should have identified that would have told us that this was getting ready to happen to this basketball team? Does a moment stand out to you?
I mean, I think you can go back to even as early as like Game 3 against Old Dominion. You almost gave up 80.
Right.
To Old Dominion. Like, Old Dominion's got a nice piece that I'll talk about. We can talk about later when we get to transfer portal discussion. But Old Dominion right now is sitting at a pretty 272 on KenPom in terms of the efficiency margin. They're 272. You should have beat that team to sleep, man.
Yeah.
But that was like the first. I think that was like the first, like, I did one of those. Like, these guys, maybe it's just an off game defensively. Maybe it's an off night. But that was the first time I kind of like maybe did one of those and was like, I don't, maybe not. Like, maybe they just don't defend. Maybe they don't defend. Next time out, they get handled on their home court by Greensboro.
Right.
So maybe that feeling that I had during that Old Dominion game wasn't just my stomach acting up. But I think the moment, if you want to go back not as far, I think back to the UNC Wilmington game at home. Arkansas won it 106-90. Nobody talked about Arkansas giving up 90 points to Wilmington.
Yeah.
It was all about Keon Minifield.
Right.
Changes the pace. Hey, so what? You know, yeah, we may have given up 90, but we scored 106. And Minifield changes the pace and the complexion and the tempo and all these insert basketball lingo word here. And then Eric was, you know, he was quick. He was ready to get on that flight to go to San Diego. And so it was just like, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no discussion about the defense really whatsoever. I think that was more left to people that, you know, subscribe to message boards and stuff. But yeah, I think that was a second big. If I had to do number one, Old Dominion, number two was just like, you just gave up 90 to these dudes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just got swept under the rug because Keon Minifield went crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting because I kind of have one along the same wavelengths there. I think for me, yeah, I thought about some of those things with Old Dominion, but I'll admit, like, even after that and then after the Greensboro loss, I was very much still in, they're working out the kinks.
I remember your vibe after that Greensboro game, dude. It was not good.
Yeah, they lose to that Greensboro team, and it's just like, you can't do that at Bud Walton Arena. Like, they had the scare against them last year when Brazil went down, but they found a way to win that game. You know, they've had some close calls in the past, but yeah, that was the first. I mean, it was the first non-conference home loss of Eric Musselman's tenure against anybody, and that set off some red flags for me. And then I remember us going to the Bahamas, and they looked like, well, at the practice we attended, they looked great. I thought they were locked in. They were engaged. There was a lot of energy in there. And I remember leaving that practice, you know, with you thinking, man, they might win this thing here in the Bahamas. And then they looked like dog water against Stanford. They shouldn't have won that game. They did. But I think the part that really stuck out the most to me was pregame. The next two games, there was no energy. There was no life.
Definitely.
There was no juice. There was no hype. Jeremiah Davenport was like the only guy out there who had a pulse.
Right.
And that stood out to me more than the games themselves because it was just like, do you guys want to be here? Because you don't look like it. And I remember us sitting there. I mean, we were right on the baseline, and it was like, are they just completely out of it and checked out, or are they like laser focused?
Right.
Well, they were checked out.
Right.
And I think we've continued to see that. So those were big moments for me. And then to your point on Minifield, that Lipscomb game where in North Little Rock where Arkansas's up 20, but Minifield makes his debut, and he winds up playing a ton of minutes in that game. Arkansas nearly chokes it away. So many things about that. Like, it's just like one red flag after another if you really go back and think about it, because you got a dude who has been getting scout team reps the whole year, and he gets eligible less than 24 hours before, and then he's immediately playing a huge role for
he
you.
played 19 minutes that game.
Yeah, and Minifield, I like him. I think he's got potential. I think he brings a different dynamic. He ain't that good.
Yeah.
You know, he ain't that good. It's not like you added a first-team all-league guy to the roster there. So for him to have that kind of role right away, probably should have told you a lot about where Arkansas's was.
Point guard play was severely lacking at that point.
And then they blow the lead. They wind up winning that game. But there was a certain someone that I'm not going to name his name, but I noticed at halftime of that game was not with the team at halftime. He was just chilling outside the locker room from the start of the half until they went back out for warm-ups. And I thought that was weird, but whatever. And then, like, Tremont Mark's comments after the game about not knowing what their identity or personality is, and then Musk getting mad at me for asking him about playing 13 guys in the first half. There was just a lot of things from that particular game where I was like, this might actually kind of be a mess.
Yeah.
I still gave them the benefit of the doubt that they'd figure it out, and they didn't. So I think the point of the conversation we're having here is we gave a lot of benefit of the doubt because we've seen the struggles before early, and it was warranted. But now that we know that this is it's a shit show, I think we can actually go back and really look at some of these things and be like, oh yeah, we probably should have paid more attention to that. Maybe.
Yeah.
This is bad.
The other thing that really strikes me is I can't remember which game the streak ended. It might have been against Lipscomb. Didn't give up 70 points for the first time at least 70 points for the first time in a long time.
Thank God their two best players were out. But yeah,
I forgot about that. Damn. But yeah, they didn't give up 20 points to at least one guy. I think for the first time in 7 or 8 games. I mean, feel like we've beaten this to death, but like in the past they've been able to, they don't get the star player and hold him down every time because star players sometimes do star player things and they just get theirs. Wade Taylor,
yes,
Antonio Reeves, dudes get theirs. It tends to happen.
Can't wait to see Reeves again Saturday. So.
Oh yeah, that's great, and he's got company.
Yeah, he's about their 7th best player or whatever. So yeah,
he's still nice, but yeah, I think it's just the lack of holding star players down. David Jones at Memphis, R.J. Davis, just let those guys get loose.
Every time I hear David Jones, I want to choke myself because Arkansas could have got him.
Against Stanford went for 27.
Yeah.
And that's – I forget that kind of because Arkansas ended up winning that game and we didn't – it might have been a note that I wrote in a notebook at the time. But, yeah, it's just that was also a concern. Like you're not – there were early signs that they're not connected defensively, that they maybe just don't complement one another really defensively at all, and then just letting guys get loose on them. I mean, that was a pretty consistent thing, and that if that happens consistently, that's an issue that will, you don't just snap out of that. I don't feel like you just snap out of that. That's going to be maybe a chronic thing. I'm going to preface asking you a question with saying I'm not sure I have a good answer for it. So I'm sure I won't either.
Do you think, looking back again before we move forward, which will be a lot more enjoyable, is there anything that stands out to you maybe that Arkansas or Eric Musselman or these guys could have done differently to not be where they're at right now? I know it's a loaded question to think about like right off the top, but
I'm gonna appease you for a second.
Thank you.
What if you just let L. Ellis rock a little bit after that Greensboro game? After the Greensboro game, like, losing at Greensboro, losing to Greensboro at home, I get it, man. It's bad. Awful look, not a good look. And L had 4 turnovers in that game, and I don't think he had an assist. I mean, I'm going strictly off memory, I think, but I'm pretty sure 0 assists, 4 turnovers. And so I kind of get it. Like, you're about to go to the Bahamas. You're going to, play against an uptick in competition, a guy that just turned the ball over 4 times against a UNC directional school. I kind of get seeing what your other options are.
Right.
But that shot his confidence. And he said, as soon as they got back, they played Duke, and then he had a great game against Duke. And then he admitted flat out in the post game press conference. He's like, "Yeah, man, when I was in the Bahamas, I was in my own head."
Right.
Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you not?
Here's what killed me about that was L in that game against Greensboro. That was arguably the worst first half I've ever seen from a Razorback. Like, just being honest, like his first half, that was horrible. All those turnovers came in. It was defensive lapses. Like, it was a complete mess. But in the second half, the only reason Arkansas was within striking distance was because of L.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, he scored 19. They all came in the second half. So he kind of, I thought he responded the right way. After he was a big part of the reason why Arkansas was in a hole, but he was also the reason why they got out of it.
Right.
And they still fell short. But then to just kind of have the rug pulled out from under you right after that, and like you're immediately taken out of the starting lineup, and then all of a sudden, like, you can't make a single mistake without getting pulled, and then you've got a true freshman who hasn't been playing, who all of a sudden he's playing 30 minutes a game. And listen, I love Blocker, and I damn sure think he should be playing a lot now at this point. But he was making turnovers, and he was making bad decisions, and he was making mistakes, gambling on defense, all the same things.
He's the reason that Stanford game went to a second overtime.
Right. And so, a lot of people have pointed out, well, like Devo's got such a long leash and L doesn't. Well, at the time, especially, like, hey, Devo's had 3 full years of a track record to have earned that, so I get it, even though he was not playing well at the time either. But I wonder what kind of message it sent a guy like L to be just completely cast aside after, I think, responding within a game the way you want your point guard to, and then having a true freshman who hadn't been playing, all of a sudden he's just the dude.
Yeah.
And then now you look at it on the flip side going down the road, and we've kind of seen this revolving door with all these guys. And yes, I absolutely agree with Eric Musselman in terms of these dudes aren't playing hard. I got to keep, mixing and matching and trying to make combinations work and trying to find the right, lineup of guys who will just, give effort or whatever. But they never gave them a chance to settle into roles,
right?
To define who they were, how their pieces fit. And that's why we have just this complete, it's like a Rubik's Cube that's a complete mess right now. Like, none of the colors match. It's just, I think that goes all the way back to the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I think if you wanted to get the best out of L, I think you have to understand that he comes with that, the defense lacks baggage.
Right. And they went into the portal season knowing that.
Right.
Like, that was they recruited that way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And
same with Battle and
and like he didn't get a chance to maybe find his true self early, because if you made a defensive mistake early, you were getting yanked.
Right.
And L. Ellis make a defensive mistake.
Imagine that.
Yeah, he's gonna come out quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, there's the perfect point guard. The absolute perfect point guard does not exist. Everybody makes mistakes, man.
Right.
Everybody has those days.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And
but yeah, like let the kid play through some mistakes, and then maybe he can, when he let him make some mistakes, and like he can, maybe find himself, and maybe your offense would not be outside the top 100 in efficiency. Your defense still might be pretty bad.
Yeah.
But you might be able to offset that a little bit if you could score some points.
Which is what they
right now.
Which is what theoretically they were trying to do when they put this roster together, and it's just the perfect storm of suck for a guy like Ellis, because, he also comes from a terrible situation in Louisville.
No doubt.
And so he has to kind of reframe his mind to be not the guy on a terrible team to being a guy on a good team. And you spend the entire preseason hyping him up and talking about how he's emerged as a vocal leader, and he's been the most improved since he arrived on campus, and how he's embracing being a distributor. And then you hype him up in the preseason. He has all these great performances, and the first sign of adversity, which is really a big test of his character and his makeup because of his past, that you just kind of shove him off. Like, what do you expect? Like, how do you expect him to react?
Yeah.
And so I think that was a miscalculation there on the part of the staff. But then the bigger, or maybe an equal issue, is you can't then turn to L and say, use this guy as an example of what you should be doing, because Devo stinks and Mark stinks. Defensively, Battle stinks. Like, all these guys who are making the same mistakes but still playing all the minutes. And then, you got a guy like L going, well, what's different about me?
Yeah.
And there's just a trickle down there. And I wonder if there's some animosity now that's been created inadvertently by just the – and I know every player's treated different. We're not naive to that. They're all treated differently, but, like, there's not a consistency in what gets you on the floor, what takes you off of it from player to player.
Yeah, for sure. And Eric has said – he's told us, he's like, there were days that L didn't handle it great.
Right.
That could not have been unexpected.
No kidding.
On the staff's point, or on the staff's part, because he's got free reign at Louisville to do whatever. He can make mistakes and continue to play through them, and then he comes here and then he makes a mistake and then he's not playing. Of course, that's going to damage your psyche a little bit. Did you have another place where outside of L. Ellis where maybe something different playing out could have changed some things?
Well, no, because my thought was kind of the broad topic that we touched on. But I think L is probably the best example of just the inconsistencies in, like, expectations from guy to guy, and the different lengths of leashes, whether warranted or not. I just think for whatever reason, and this has always been the case with Eric's teams, but eventually, like, guys settle in, they buy in, and the cream has always risen to the top. And we just haven't seen that with this group. And for whatever reason, I think those differences and just the way the program is run, and it's not saying that Muss has he's not running it the right way or whatever, because he's proven that his methods work. Yeah. But with this group of guys, whatever their mental makeup is, it hasn't. And I think maybe he's trying to make those adjustments now to whoever puts in the work, or or whatever, whoever's doing things the right way or representing the program the right way.
They put out the other day against Ole Miss, that was the most these guys tried at practice starting group I've ever seen. Yeah.
And then they're down by 10 right away, and it's and so if you're Muss, like, you got to sink or swim with it. And they could have gotten beat by 50 and rode with those guys, or you could have given some other guys some looks and lose by 25. Yeah. But it's it's tough. I'm getting depressed again. Should we
move on?
Yeah, we're gonna fast forward now. It's time to fast forward, because honestly, like, this offseason is gonna be so vital. I mean, it's critical for the future of this program. And listen, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys right now. Like, those who have been continuously, like, beating the drum for more continuity and less roster turnover, like, you're gonna be pissed, because at a bare minimum, Arkansas is gonna be adding 6 transfers in the offseason to go along with the 2 freshmen that are already coming in. And it is not unrealistic at all to see Arkansas adding 10 transfers this offseason. I'm not exaggerating. Like, it's
listen to Curtis on this, guys. Like,
it is a very real possibility, and it's just gonna be a brand new team. It just is. And I mean, if you're a Razorback fan right now, like, don't you want that? Like, do you want this entire team to run it back next year?
Yeah. Like, come shopping with us. We're
exactly.
We're about to go looking for some guys.
Yeah, come shopping with us, because we're on it. Because I think, there are 3 things that really stand out to me going into portal season. I think they've got to get more winners, guys who are proven contributors from winning programs. I think that stuff matters. I think they got to get more of the prototypes. He's drooling over Ole Miss's roster full of 6'6" dudes, who they're tough. They play defense. They're switchable. Get ready for a lot of that. They can't shoot. Like, get ready for a lot of that. And then, like, they don't have a choice but to revamp the front court, because Bayfall is the only one with eligibility left. This ain't FIBA, okay? Like, less chicken, more beef. Like, please, for the love of God, can Arkansas get a big, physical, like, imposing presence in the paint, because it's been sweet around the rim all year, and
no
they
joke.
ran it back. It's just it drives me nuts. Whatever. Anyway, we know Muss has a knack for identifying guys who like they've prepared for and played against, and getting them in the program. So let's do a little back and forth with like some of the guys that we've seen this year that could be good fits if they enter the portal, or maybe if Arkansas is, back channel them right now, because it is a thing. I know that you've been looking into this, so why don't you throw a few guys at me? Let's see if we have some of the same guys on the list here.
Okay, I'll start with the point guard spot.
Okay.
And you mentioned wanting guys, that come from winning programs, winning players. How about J.P. Pegues from Furman?
Ooh, yeah.
6'1", 185, and if you're wondering what he did against Arkansas, he put up 21 points, 6 assists. J.P. Pegues, as far as I know, let me find Furman again. J.P. Pegues is a junior this season, so he has years left. He has not, to my knowledge, has not transferred yet.
He's won in the NCAA tournament.
He has hit a game winner against Virginia. He hit a game winner against Virginia, so he's winner. He's a winner.
I like him a lot. I'm glad that you started with Furman. Interestingly enough, I didn't throw him on my initial list when I was looking at it. But yeah, that's
People
the kind of dude you
point
need.
Guard play all the time. That's a vet.
Yes.
With a winning mindset, comes from a program that's had quite a bit of success the last several years.
You know who I like
Bob
from
Ritchie.
Furman?
Who's that?
I like Alex Williams.
Okay.
You remember that dude?
Yeah.
6'5", 235 pounds. He's built like a brick shit house. He had 20 points on Arkansas, and this big dude hit 5 threes.
He did,
like
didn't
TB
he?
had no answer. He had nothing for him
I love
at
that.
all.
Yeah, I love that.
That's my kind of guy. Just a big, strong dude that can hit threes. Sure.
I felt like Theo Vaughn right there, and he's just like, you ever pet a dog?
Yeah.
And the dog didn't walk away. God, I love that.
Pet that dog.
J.P. Pegues, Alex Williams, both those guys both scored 20+ on Arkansas. Why not?
Yeah.
So why not?
Roll with it.
6'5", 235. Alex Williams can step out, shoot it, obviously.
Yeah.
He looks like a freaking SEC tight end or an SEC linebacker, or the scariest running back you've ever seen in your life.
That too.
And he can bruise you up a little bit.
All right. Okay. I like it. What do you got next?
I mentioned Old Dominion earlier.
Yeah.
Chauncey Jenkins.
Loved him. I had him on my list too.
6'4", 173 from Old Dominion, put up 21 points, 7 rebounds in Arkansas. I like his game a lot.
Yeah.
And then, if he does wind up coming here, we can ask him if it's Chaunce, which I doubt.
Right.
Chauncey.
Chauncey sounds right. Yeah.
Shout out to I almost called him L. Ellis. Shout out to Andrew Ellis right outside the pod room.
What's he doing right now?
He's just staring.
He's probably trying to go home.
Just staring.
Yeah, he's probably trying to go grab his bag.
It's okay. You have our permission. Nodding his head.
Okay, I got Mikhail Brown-Jones. Remember him?
Yes, I had him down too.
UNCG. They had the twins or whatever, the Langley twins that torched Arkansas. Yeah. They're probably out of eligibility,
I think
but
they are too, yeah.
Mikhail Brown-Jones, he reminds me of like a BJ Mack light.
6'8", 220, that's good. I like that size.
Yeah, and he looks strong, man. Like he's kind of physically imposing, but he's physical, he's versatile, he's got a bag around the bucket. He can put it on the deck a little bit. He can make some threes. I think he's like something crazy. He's like 18 of 30 or something from 3 this year.
Yeah, 60% from 3 on 30 attempts.
Yeah, so he's taking, it's a low volume, but he's knocking them down.
Tells me he's a good shot taker.
Yes, he's a good shot taker. He kind of seemed like a glue guy for them, but he's also very productive. I love that kind of guy. Like, get him in here, please.
Yes.
Give me that for a power forward all day long.
Shooting almost 60% from on 2-point attempts and almost an 80% free throw shooter. Draws a bunch of fouls per 40 minutes. That sounds like he sounds like he's right up high FTA guy.
Right.
Right. Those are Eric's guys.
Yeah.
The last one that I had, Trezarian White from UNC Wilmington.
Got my guy. Yeah.
6'7", 190.
Yeah.
Back in my former place of employment, when I had to get on message boards every day, right after Arkansas played Wilmington, several threads actually were started with, I can't wait until Trezarian White's in an Arkansas uniform next year. There were so many of those threads.
Yes. Oh, we talk about the prototype. I mean, here he is, 6'7", 190 pounds. He's long as a Monday. He scored 28 points on Arkansas. He can't shoot.
Longer than a day at home alone with your kids.
Yeah. Gets to the line, but he shoot like 15 free throws against Arkansas. I don't know how many he made.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that dude is the guy. He is Eric Musselman's kind of guy.
Yeah, he came off the bench to put up 28 on Arkansas.
That's right. He also comes off the bench, right?
So maybe I think if you get a guy like that, you start him, clearly.
Yeah.
But, he's got some experience coming off the bench, so that wouldn't be hypothetically brand new or theoretically brand new.
Right. Yeah, I think, and we talked about those guys, some of these guys from non-conference play that we like, some of these mid-majors. I love those hidden gems like that. I do think that Arkansas needs to maybe find a better balance between those kind of guys and getting, we talk about guys from winning programs and everything, but like from big programs, from high majors who've, experienced the SEC grind or a grind similar to that of the SEC, because they got all these dudes from the, like the American this year, good players or whatever, but it is a little bit different. So, I kind of look around and, maybe not specific guys, but I like some of those guards and wings that Oklahoma had. They're just solid. They're physical as hell, tough. Like they had the, Soares, the guy who transferred to him from Oregon, just a really nice player. Like the Owe guy, the Uzan guy. They got some weird names, by the way.
Javian McCollum was a big pickup.
McCollum from Siena,
From Siena, yeah.
Like I like those kind of guys. I think about some of the guys that they pursued in the offseason that maybe they could have pursued harder or been a little bit more patient and had a chance with, like David Jones from Memphis. I mean, he would be a killer.
He is a really good over points bet on Saracen.
Yes.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
I've had good success with
and again, like
David
another
Jones.
just like a 6'6" dude that can do it all.
Yeah, he's just a scorer. He's just a hooper.
Right. And when you're trying to figure out, because like Arkansas reaches out to every guy that enters the portal, and so you'll see that so-and-so has heard from 30 schools and Arkansas. If you want to know who they're serious about, any wing that's between 6'5" and 6'7" that can't shoot but can play multiple positions and defend, like that's who they're interested in. Every single one of them.
Versatility.
So just believe that. Or a tall point guard.
Did you put down any current SEC players?
No,
because
I didn't.
I think the, Alan Flanagan from Auburn to Ole Miss ad.
That.
You need that.
The only note I made about an SEC, I swear, the only note I made about SEC players was give me 13 Alan Flanagans. Like, that's what Muss is looking for right there.
Love that roster is nothing but 6'6" guys.
Exactly. So I think we kind of got an understanding here of where we're at, and we're gonna this is a segment here that we're gonna continue to do at least once a week the rest of the season, and it'll be some SEC guys, or we might pick a different conference every episode and be like, hey, you see this dude? Like if he hits the portal, this is an Arkansas kind of guy.
Monday,
Start watching the film.
We'll just look specifically at SEC guys.
Yes.
And then the next time we record, right here on the wall, we'll have our big board, our hot board.
Oh, yeah. Because we got like 50 whiteboards in this office.
We do have a bunch of whiteboards. Man,
get ready for that.
Yeah, we bring the one from next door over in here.
Yeah.
We can get
the Natty State whiteboard. It's coming.
There you go.
Portal season, baby. And when it is portal season, we're going to be rolling with this.
We'll be on top of that.
Yeah. We're going to have this entire wall behind me. It's going to be all whiteboards. And we're just going to list everybody that Arkansas talked to. It's going to be color-coded based on who they're actually interested in and who they're not.
It'll look like some of Arkansas's, prep sheets. When Florida Barstool thought that Arkansas was, doxing itself and putting its own baseline out-of-bounds plays in half-court sets on pieces of paper and hanging them up. I was actually, the Florida Scout. I mean, you don't have to think about that one too hard, but it'll look like that with just like the big, tall, white sheets of paper everywhere.
I can't wait.
Everywhere. It'll
Like
look
those
like
people that
it'll look like a serial killer podcast.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like the folks that freak out, at, like they're trying to solve a crime or whatever, and you go in their house.
I don't know
and
if you
there's
ever
just,
seen
like, shit
True
everywhere.
Detective, but it'll be like Rust Cole when he gets that storage unit.
Yeah.
And it's basically a whole office in there.
Thumbtacks and strings everywhere.
Yeah,
I can't
everything.
wait. But it'll be a system though. We'll explain it very thoroughly so you guys understand.
For sure.
Okay.
I've got something for you again. I think you liked, and I think the people liked the trivia questions that I gave you on the last podcast that we did. I've got three for you today.
Okay.
2 of the questions only have a single answer.
Okay.
So you don't have to go to it. And you, I think, like, I'm going to ask you the top 5 SEC leading scorers again, and the top one hasn't changed. So can you name Arkansas's top 5 leading scorers in SEC play after 6 games?
Well, Tremont Mark.
Correct.
Boy, oh boy.
Isn't it crazy? Stuck on number 2.
It is. Yeah, it is crazy because, shoot, man, I don't know who scored the other day. Devo didn't score. It's crazy. Brazil didn't do anything. Did Davenport even score? Is it still Davenport number 2?
Still Davenport.
Okay.
7.8.
Okay. Graham? Brazil.
That is correct.
Okay.
Trevin Brazil, 6.8, number 3.
L. Ellis. Devo. Oh, yeah, he didn't do anything. That was a stupid guess. Jeez. Minifield. Who else is on the team? Give me a position. Guard or forward?
It's a guard.
Pinion.
That's correct. Joseph Pinion, 4th on the team in SEC play, 6 points per game.
Has he played in all the games?
He's played in 4. So that's
and
helping.
He's 4th on the team.
That's
and
helping his average a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. And then Devo. Then who am I not saying? Mackay. Minifield. Who am I forgetting? Ellis. Chandler Lawson. Blocker. Battle. Dude, who am I missing?
You just want me to say it?
Yeah, just say it.
Jalen Graham.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Jalen Graham, 5.3 points per game.
This is stupid.
So,
all right.
To recap, Tremont Mark.
Yep.
Jeremiah Davenport.
Yep.
Trevin Brazil.
Then it went downhill.
Joseph Pinion.
Okay.
Jalen Graham, top 5 leading scorers in SEC play. No ties there.
Start them Saturday.
Why not? That's your offensive lineup. All right, second question.
Okay.
Who has made the second most field goals in SEC games? I mean, Tremont Mark's your leading scorer, so he's made the most shots. Who is second on this Arkansas team and made field goals in SEC play?
Can you confirm to me, because I feel like you wouldn't ask me this question if it was the second leading scorer. So can you confirm to me that it is not Davenport?
It's not Davenport.
Okay. Graham.
That is correct.
Oh,
Very
let's
good.
go.
Very good. He is.
Yes. Okay.
So Tremont Mark is 30 of 64 from the field. Jalen Graham is second on the team in SEC play to this point with 14 field goals made.
Through 6 games.
Through 6 games.
Jeez Louise, man.
Trevin Brazil, third with 13. Jeremiah Davenport trails him with 12. And then Keon Minifield has 10.
All right. Okay.
All right. Last question, one answer.
All right.
Who is second on this team in field goal attempts in SEC games?
Who's been getting them up there?
There's
Davenport.
it's a pretty close competition at this point for second.
Really?
Yeah.
Davenport. It's not. I think Brazil only took like 1 shot or something. So I'm not going to say him.
He was 0 for 1 against Ole Miss,
Yeah.
I believe.
Devo. Graham.
Devo only took. Did Devo take a shot the other night against
Oh
Ole Miss?
yeah, maybe not.
I don't know that he did.
I got two more thoughts. Graham. Okay. and hear me out only because I'm thinking took a crap ton of shots against Auburn, and he took a lot of shots last night. Minifield.
That is correct.
That's absurd.
He is second on the team in SEC games with 37 field goal attempts. Tremont Mark first with 64. But I mentioned that it's pretty heated for second right now because Brazil has 35 and Jeremiah Davenport has 34.
Wow. So that's where we're at.
31.
Oh, man. Okay. All right.
That's all I got.
Fantastic.
I mean, it's like digging for diamonds.
Yeah,
you know,
this is
like
nuts,
when
dude.
the SEC stats get updated, it is literally just, but you find gems digging through these numbers quicker,
Right.
obviously, than finding diamonds.
These trivias, they're just so telling. They're so telling.
It's crazy. I think it's my favorite part of basketball season at this point.
Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying these. I'm glad you're doing it. So, okay, all right. Do we have SEC lines, or is it too early for the weekend?
At this point. It's too early.
Okay.
But I like what you did on the last pod. Just kind of leaned on KenPom a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, you said what those numbers are like. Sometimes they're like a
point or two.
Yeah,
they're close.
Point or two off.
Okay, let's roll through them.
All right. 2:30 on Saturday. Auburn is -4 at Mississippi State.
Ooh.
That game is that's like if you're a gambler, that game is trouble.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go. Actually, Mississippi State.
I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah,
Like that.
I think so. At the hump, they're actually in a little bit of desperation mode. I think they're better than their record suggests. Auburn is good. They've finally been knocked off. But that's a tough week to go to Alabama and then to the hump.
Yes. That's a
And it's the short turn on a Wednesday to Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wednesday to Saturday,
give me
yeah.
the Bulldogs. Give me Chris Jans.
all right. We're on the same page there.
Okay.
Alabama is -14 at home against LSU. 7 o'clock tip, by the way.
Bama wins, LSU covers.
Okay.
I'm only considering the letdown factor from that win the other night against Auburn.
Yeah, I understand that. I think I'm going Alabama though.
They're
I
probably
think
going to win by
they
30.
They can just score.
Yeah,
They can score, buddy. If they can't do anything else other than, get away with, being accessories to crimes, they can score.
facts. Yes.
They can really score.
Okay.
Tennessee, 5 o'clock tip off. Tennessee is -17 at Vandy.
Sure. Yeah, why not? Tennessee's good, man.
They are good.
Dalton Connect might outscore Vanderbilt.
Don't you feel like that series gets a little sideways sometimes?
It does. Did that end in a buzzer beater last year? Or maybe
Man,
that was
I can't
Kentucky
remember if
that Vanderbilt
was
beat.
last year.
Vanderbilt got somebody at least once on a buzzer beater. But Tennessee ran into a situation last year where they were getting beat in like the final seconds of games.
Tennessee lost at Vanderbilt last year,
Okay.
66-65.
Yeah. That might have been. I wonder who hit that shot. Maybe it was Jordan Wright or something, or maybe it was a Tyron Lawrence kid. That was 100% a
Something
buzzer
tells me
beater.
it was Tyron Lawrence.
Because I think like tens of people stormed the court after that, if I remember correctly, and they got fined, $150,000 or whatever the hell it is, and it's like, well, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
like let's do like a prorated.
I mean, these 28 kids, they're just, they're not us.
Yeah, it's like less than the amount of managers on the bench or something. Like, come on,
Smaller than an Arkansas staff
yeah,
and support staff.
Yeah, come on.
Not trying to sway your opinion on that. I'm taking Vandy +17
Okay,
at
all
home.
right.
I mean,
I'm all in on the
watch
balls.
them take a 35-point L. I mean, that's just the way this goes. 5 o'clock tip. I don't know if you heard this, but Kentucky is coming to Arkansas on Saturday. Kentucky is favored by 7, according to KenPom. What do you like?
Kentucky by however many they want to win by.
Name it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
same.
Absolutely.
I think that's it. Moving on, South Carolina -9 at home against Missouri. Game tips off at noon, thankfully, so nobody has to spend any more time watching Missouri basketball.
Carolina wins. Missouri covers. I do
Really?
expect a letdown from the Cox.
Okay.
Got the big win over Kentucky. Validate yourself. Missouri stinks, so maybe you're not up for it.
Listen, I'm starting to come around on South Carolina a little bit.
Yeah, they might be better than I gave them credit for.
Win at Arkansas, and then you've got this big opportunity at home. ESPN's in your building. I think that was right. Of course it was right. Kentucky was there. Kentucky's there, and they controlled the whole game. I bet the over in that game, and I said, Curtis, they've scored 17 points in the first 7 minutes of this game.
Dude, they slowed them down.
There's no way. Yeah, they held them almost, close to 30 points under their season scoring average.
Yeah.
I like South Carolina, man, and I think Missouri got that game out of their system where they competed against Texas A&M.
That could be true.
I like South Carolina, I think.
I like that we're opposite on a lot of these. Okay, all right.
Florida is -7 at home against Georgia. 11 a.m. tip-off. Florida -7 against Georgia.
You know what? Give me Georgia to cover that. You know why? Because Mike White's about that life.
Because I'm taking Florida?
Because you're taking Florida. Mike, this is, you know what? As a matter of fact, Scotty, give me Georgia straight up.
Oh, wow.
Mike White revenge game. Here we go. Here we go.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's all. That's my only reasoning for this.
Georgia's just not at home. Otherwise, I'd take them. They survived a nail-biter the other night at home against LSU. Maybe should have lost that game.
Probably so.
You allow a full-court pass on a base, pass on the baseline out of bounds play with under 3 seconds. That three deserved to go in.
Caleb Battle would have made that shot. That's his shot.
It is his shot.
So you know,
catch it, spin, rotate the hips, let that thing fly. Yeah, went in and out. They deserved to lose that game.
Yep.
Last one for you. Texas A&M is -6 at home against Ole Miss. That game will tip off at 7:30, primetime game. A&M -6 against Ole Miss.
Give me the Aggies.
Man, we're literally going the opposite way on all of these. I like Ole Miss to cover that because I'm not firm yet. I'm just not firm right now on Texas A&M.
I don't think I'm firm on either one of them. I can't look at Ole Miss's performance against Arkansas and decide I want to buy in. Wait, where's this game being played?
Let me double check. I believe it is at Texas A&M.
Okay, if it's at A&M, I'm going to go A&M.
Texas A&M is at home against Ole Miss.
Okay. Yeah, give me the Aggies. Why not?
I like Ole Miss to cover.
Okay.
I got burned last time trying to bet Ole Miss to cover as a road underdog. I'm sure all of that'll go great.
Yeah. Well, hopefully people listen to the last half of this.
Yeah, so either take Curtis's picks or take my pick.
Yeah.
Or my picks.
Yeah.
I mean, we pretty much went the opposite way on all of them.
Exactly.
Except for Mississippi State. We're on board with Mississippi State.
Toulouse-Smith bandwagon.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think it would do my heart some good to just see Auburn lose a second game in a row.
Yeah.
Since they didn't cover for me last night, screw them.
I want to see everybody suffer at this point.
Jalen Williams, you can get a 3-pointer off in less than 0.6 seconds. Come on, brother.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Come on, brother.
Yeah. I feel for you for that one. Do not second guess yourself on
any
Saturday.
Of these picks?
Do not do it.
Okay.
Just go for it. Matter of fact,
I'm gonna not second guess myself for once, and you're gonna hit every freaking one of yours.
I hope so. I hope that's what happens.
Just fade me.
Oh man. Okay. Well, you know what, Scotty? I feel like my vibes are better at the end of this than they were at the beginning. Yeah. There's a little bit of therapy. We got in the weeds, and but then we looked ahead at some exciting stuff. I feel pretty good about it.
But you know why the vibes are good? Because we didn't talk about Arkansas Ole Miss, and we didn't talk about Arkansas Kentucky.
That's right.
Other than Kentucky can name their score.
Exactly.
Name their margin.
Yes.
That's it.
And the keg is working in the office.
It is working in the office. It's working in the office. But yeah, I think that's why the vibes are good.
Yeah. We've done it. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm good, man.
It was good. Yeah.
I'm good.
This is a good way for everybody to start their Friday.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, then we're going to get out of here then. College game day is coming to town. For those who care about the Razorbacks basketball team still, College game day is coming here. And so that's going down in Fayetteville in Bud Walton Arena. As I understand it, it's like an open to the public deal on Saturday. So that's cool. Like, I'm excited for that. We're going to be down there. We're going to check it out. We'll see if it lights some sort of fire or maybe a very small candle under the rear ends of the Razorbacks. But who knows? We're going to enjoy the game. We're going to break it down. We're going to cover it. And we're going to continue to talk about some weird and interesting stuff in Natty State sports.
I have some event details for College Game Day.
Okay, good.
Obviously, it's at Bud Walton Arena, free and open to the public.
Get out there.
Student gates, 8:30.
Okay.
Public gates, 9. Show begins at 10. Because that's where basketball and football game day differs. I think basketball is just an hour.
Yeah.
And then, obviously the game, all gates open at 3, tip off at 5. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, promotion. They're doing a red glow. The first 12,000 fans get a LED light stick, and the first 1,500 students get a T-shirt.
Hey.
Don't know what's on the T-shirt. It might just be a plain Hanes white tee.
Show up, get some gear, get on TV. Why not? Cheer on the Razorbacks. They need you.
I might just be missing something with the T-shirt, but I don't. Oh, receive a Bring the Energy T-shirt courtesy of Bud Anderson. How about that?
There you go.
Bring the energy.
Yeah.
Remember where did they play that? They played that
in Tulsa.
In Tulsa after Eric got ejected.
Yeah.
That was electric, dude. That was electric.
Maybe the most underrated moment of the season.
Of the game.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's all I got.
Yeah, we're out of here. That's exactly what we need to leave on. Leave, but bring the energy. That's the mantra right now. All right, it's been fun. Pot at the Palace. We appreciate you guys. We will be back on Monday. Looking forward to it. It's been Scottie Bordelon, Curtis Wilkerson with Night State Sports. Catch you guys next week.